what is next for the Democrats? To help answer that question for us, let's bring in Michael Thorning. He is the director of structural democracy at the Bipartisan Policy Center. Michael, welcome. Good to be with you today. So what happens now with the delegates?
Well, what happens, is really the decision is uniquely in the hands of the delegates in the way that it only partially was before. The way Democratic Party rules and conventions work, there were two classes of delegates, really. You had a class of delegates who were, committed delegates who basically were assigned to a candidate through the state primaries. Then you have a class of other delegates, sometimes called super delegates, who are, sort of party elders and leaders in the party. Now we're in a situation where they uniquely just have a lot of deference to choose the person who will represent the party in a way that delegates at a convention have not had since the early 1970s.
And what about the donors and that huge war chest that Biden has accumulated?
Well, campaign finance and fundraising is an ongoing process for campaigns. It's never done. It does seem likely that Vice President Harris is going to, inherit that campaign account. Her name was already on it officially, and paperwork was filed yesterday with the Federal Election Commission to solidify that. But what we've also seen in, just the last 18 or so hours is that, there's been a huge increase in fundraising by the Democratic Party. And so I think from that, we can conclude that Vice President Harris is going to continue to raise her own money to support her candidacy as the campaign rolls out.
Yeah, and let's talk about the voters here. I mean, more than 14 million people voted for Biden. Do you think they're feeling disenfranchised right now? And do you think maybe they're owed an explanation here or even an apology?
It's difficult to say at this point. I think we know a few things is that, those 14 million voters were almost entirely members of the Democratic Party. There weren't very many races where you had independents participating. So these are our party stalwarts. Some polling of party members in recent weeks show that they were fairly unhappy with President Biden as their nominee. Combining that with the fact that there wasn't really a competitive primary, which usually there isn't for an incumbent, it's not clear that voters are actually upset with this decision. And I think some might actually say that they were hoping for this. Certainly there was pretty widespread debate within Democratic circles about who should be the candidate after last month's debate.
Michael, really quickly here, almost out of time, but I want to talk with the Republicans. Some are saying that if Biden isn't fit to run for office again, then he isn't fit to actually be in office. Do you think they have a point here? And can President Biden effectively lead the country right now?
Well, I think that's up for debate, but even the Wall Street Journal editorial board had a piece out this morning concluding that yes, there's a difference between President Biden running for re-election and him serving out the remaining months of his term. But Republicans have lots of tools, at their disposal if they really want to dig deeper into this question.
All right, we have to leave it right there. Michael, great to be with you. Thank you for your time today and insights. We appreciate it.
Thank you.